Who is this? Who is this KL Rahul fellow? He got spoiled by good question this was.
I wish we had recorded this.
We have the intro.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review. Can we rock and roll, please?
Hello and welcome to Bits and Pieces once again, your friendly neighborhood cricket podcast. It's IPL time, when money gets questionably thrown around madly by rich people at random players. In a sense, it's a suspect action, a suspect auction. How can you talk about suspect actions without saying Chuck? Welcome to the podcast, the master of Indian podcasts, also friend of the podcast, Deepak, aka Chuck Gopal. Say hi, Deepak.
Hi, it's an absolute honor to be here. And I also see how you've already turned this from the friendliest cricket podcast to a friendly cricket podcast. Anyway, congratulations, guys, for your for this. It's fascinating to see how the show has evolved over 5 episodes.
It's been quite the evolution over 5 weeks, but Chuck's own evolution as a cricket fan has been, even more profound. He used to be a massive cricket fan, so massive that he took a time machine back to the 1800s to enjoy the career of George Lohman, who I'm pretty sure none of you has ever heard of. He was the Bradman of bowling, and just like Chuck is the Bradman of podcasting. The 1800s was also when Chuck last followed cricket, and he's literally woken up from a cricketing cryogenic freeze to join us today. Also on the pod, we have IPL enthusiast, peerless auction strategist, Mohan Krishnamurthy. Say hello, Mohan.
Okay, I'm not going to live that down. So I didn't follow the IPL auction. I will not follow the IPL. Why should I follow the auction? So I'm happy to be here once again, Nitin, and everyone else. Nice to be here.
Welcome on board once again, Mohan. Also joining us today, president of the Sanju Samson Cricket Fan Club, and owner of the perpetual radioactive rights to commercialize the original Kochi Tuskers Kerala jersey. The biggest cricket fan from Kerala, Malayali Anada, Tony Sebastian. Say hello.
Thanks. But OG fans would have said Indie Commandos and not Kochi Tuskers Kerala.
Low.
Well played, Tony. Also joining us today, Kaustubh, who helps this podcast sound much better than it is while we are recording. He literally makes love to the sound waves and produces beautiful sounds for us to listen to week after week. Say hello, Kaus.
Hi, great descriptor. There's no cricket in what you just mentioned. It's like, he just handles the production. Like this, that's my qualifier.
You're the anti-KL Rahul of this podcast. Only captaincy, no batting.
And funnily, Kaustubh is the only person in this group who's actually working in cricket. The rest of us are just doing time pass. So yes. And one of the challenges that we are thinking of posing to Kaus is that, one of these days we are not going to record the podcast at all. By the way, we have done that in the past. We're just going to talk, and then Kaus is going to sort of recreate sound waves out of somewhere to make it, sound like a proper podcast.
Like so with GPT-3 or something, GTP3.
Yeah, one of those things, or Web3. Yeah, it's always a good time to.
Wow, you have offended like multiple communities at the same time. Yeah, well.
All right, and I am Nitin Sundar to complete the panel for today. Some of our originals are not joining us this time. Srinath Sripath is in China enjoying gobi Manchurian for the last time before he goes back to wherever he stays after having hosted the Winter Olympics. PGK, Praveen Gopalakrishnan, refused to join, saying that there can only be one Gopalakrishnan in a podcast, and today that is Deepak Gopalakrishnan.
Murli Sadgopan has not joined us because there can be only one Chuck on the show. So, no Murli.
Oh, wow. Bishan Singh Bedi fans like this.
Chuck just revealed his 1800s cred here by quoting Bishan Bedi. That's the farthest into the past we've ever gone, apart from George Lohman, of course. So we are recording, as we always do, slap bang in the middle of the most important cricketing event of the week, because that's how we do cricketing podcasts once a week. This is day 2 of the IPL auction. The auction is going on right now. But let's talk about unsung heroes, right? A Bangalore guy who spent his entire career in the shadows of a more celebrated colleague who stays in Bombay. This person was endlessly ridiculed for being in charge of a test match style RCB side in the first season of the IPL. He then seemed to move on from cricket, even as that peer from Mumbai continued to have an extensive career. But even now, just like back in the day, our man from Bangalore is the first person the BCCI turns to when they urgently need someone to take on a high-profile, high-impact role under massive public scrutiny. No, I'm not talking about Rahul Dravid. I'm talking about Charu Sharma here. And the person from Bombay is, of course, Harsha Bhogle.
My whole that's what understanding for this auction has been that it's been set up so that Chuck can be a part of it. To see Charu Sharma take the stage after God knows how long. There's a lot of speculation about how it came about also. The first person while Hasaranga's auction was going on, he collapsed.
Hugh Edmead.
Yeah, so he collapsed on stage during Hasaranga's auctioneering, right? And it looked kind of bad. We do not know whether he's conscious or whether he can go on or whatever. And today there's been a video that's come out that says yes, he's fine, but for health reasons he's sitting out of the auction. So for the next 1 hour they had to sort out who the next auctioneer is going to be. Okay, I'm just wondering if Charu Sharma has been hanging around this whole. He's not even inside the hotel or in the bio bubble or whatever. He's hanging around wherever the auction is saying, bro, this is my time to shine. I'll just wait for that call. It got suspended at around 2:30 and they announced it's going to start at 3:30. It starts at 3:50 instead. And the running joke on Twitter was that he got stuck in Bangalore traffic, bro. There's no other reason why this thing will get pushed any further. But
Wait. Is that why he showed up late for the auction? Is that why he got delayed? You know what I actually thought? They should have actually ordered a Charu Sharma on Zepto instead of done so. He would have showed up on time, right? And they could have resumed.
I think given its pandemic times, it's probably likely that Charu Sharma didn't have a suit that fit him anymore because he's last presented 5 years ago. So I empathize with him. But also, greatest Charu Sharma throwback for me was that his was the first kind of accent I tried to copy in my 5th standard speech competition on the benefits of science.
yeah, man, Charu Sharma, proper throwback. Next we'll see what Arun Lal taking over as commentator soon, man. Every player auction was delayed a fraction bit, but from my understanding is he's trying maximum value for the player. Forget the team that's bidding. Okay, he's like, "Arey, nahi, are you they or 20 lakh? Arey, put another 50. It's okay." My takeaway is the player being auctioned is coming away happy because people are talking him up for the maximum amount of time. And
this is where your 1D chess stops, right? Because ultimately it's a zero-sum game. Teams have a fixed purse. Charu Sharma is getting paid by the minute. So if he extends the auction for 3 days, he gets more money. So only self-interest at play here. He actually did a great job, much like Marnus Labuschagne stepping in as a concussion substitute for Steve Smith.
But imagine, you're one fine Saturday morning in Bangalore, you're waking up all hammered, partying after partying the previous night. And suddenly, from being hammered, you're holding a hammer and you're hosting an auction. And
Wow.
millions of people are watching you, right? So truly the Rahul Dravid of Indian cricket.
So I obviously have nothing of note to contribute to this discussion. So I went to Charu Sharma's Wikipedia page, and it turns out that a good 14.425% of his Wikipedia profile is based on yesterday's replacement event. So his the entire Wikipedia article is 409 words, and he was a replacement to all the way to recover on time is 59 words, taking us to, since there are enough IIM guys who crack the cat over here, 14.425%. So that's my only contribution to this.
This is more math than the teams have lost the auction.
What do you think about the auction? Biggest takeaways?
but teams have come in with no strategy. Okay, naam dig gaya on screen, we need to buy. I don't care what's happening. I just need to throw in money at it. Most teams have spent 90% of their purse and have just 11 players. They need another 18.
Some of them didn't even have 11 players. As of yesterday, some of them had 8 players and middle order batsmen required to be filled tomorrow. I was reading
This is like when amateurs play the fantasy league, right? And they use up all of their substitutions in the first 10 matches and then just have to wing it towards the end.
So you guys have a lot to answer for. Because of you, I actually watched about half an hour of that abomination yesterday, and I just saw people randomly, chucking their paddles up in the air. I think lady from KKR or something like that, she just kept putting her paddle up, and then there was a bloke from CSK who was just putting his paddle up. And Nicholas Puran, he went. That's the auction that I saw. That's the bidding that I saw. and it was so bad. And the auction before that also, I saw it was so bad that the auctioneer himself collapsed and said, "I'm out of here. I'm going away." So, I'm viewing this from from the lens of a cynic of the IPL in general, but I found the entire thing boring. There's nothing. There's no material. There's no information. There's nothing that tells us how this player who's being auctioned might fit in to a team. There's nothing additional to the actual auction process, which is pretty bland, and I don't know why people find this interesting, because there's no additional material that says how this player might fit into various combinations that the teams are stacking up and how it's building up. But of course, we go back to the original comment, which is people didn't have any strategy at all. They were just buying things like tomatoes in a market. So I think the whole thing lacked context, lacked process, lacked anything.
Yeah. But I like the tomato analogy as well, right? There is some teams are buying tomatoes, other teams are trying to play catch up. There's a lot of gravy being thrown around, and the puriest people probably end up with the best teams. Okay, I probably took that too far, but yeah, moving on.
So right before recording, Mohan said that he was going to down a few glasses of wine to make the conversation livelier. So then I wrote this down. Do you know why AB de Villiers joined RCB? All of you know. See, cricket experts. Huh? Okay. So when he was signed up by the team, Vijay Mallya asked his team manager why they spent so much money getting the South African fellow. The manager replied, "Sir, you only said no, get ABV." Mallya said, "No, ETS, I said give me more ABV."
Oh, that is an AB InBev based.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's well played, man. Well played.
Yeah.
You know what?
You can still stop this and ask me to leave this show. I'm not going to feed. So
Just like no, never mind. AB de Villiers is not with RCB anymore, right?
No, he is not. So
this is exactly what I thought would happen. I actually wrote see if the guys debate whether ABV is still part of RCB.
But Chuck, do you know what ABD and Kohli call each other?
A buddy?
No. This is a fact-based question. They call each other biscuit.
Biscuit.
Yeah, not just because ABD is protea. How do you say it? But no, but apparently biscuit.
Wow. Underrated. It's very.
But biscuit is the term of endearment that they use in South Africa, it seems. So yeah,
they call each other biscuit.
Yeah,
hey biscuit, hi biscuit. It's like PGK and Chuck meeting each other. Hey Gopalakrishnan.
So best friends will become cream biscuit, is it? Because,
Depends on if they're friends with benefits or not. Okay, family show. It used to be at some point.
That's how the cookie crumbles. Well, my biggest takeaway from yesterday's auction, right? Everybody else was doing IPL auction. But one team, Chennai Super Kings, was doing an NFT auction because they were picking up collectibles. Right? They were picking up people from back when Chuck was still watching cricket. So you have, this was my segue, and we always like to observe our segues and call them out. This was my segue to bring Chuck into the conversation because the players that CSK has assembled are actually people that played back in George Loman's
that I would know. Yeah.
That you would know of, yes. Yeah. Dhoni and Raidu and
I know these guys.
The Brady Brunch. Dwayne Bravo went for a fair amount of money. The guy literally walks on crutches these days.
50 Raidu. Ambati Raidu.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Well done. These fellows have no value for feelings. Otherwise, they would have said empathy Raidu.
Empathy Raidu. Nice.
Actually, I thought for the first time Mumbai stayed true to their name and they only have Indians. They haven't got any of their overseas picks yet, and hopefully they will at some point today, right?
No, they did. They got the South Africa wonder kid, the Devil Brewis, right? But that's the only baby AB basically. But yeah, they've been very quiet apart from going for what 15 crores for Ishan Kishan, 15 odd crores. It's absurd. It's highly inflated. Everybody has run out of money, and now they're scrambling to put together a team. It's going to be fun the next day for us.
Hey, Ishan Kishan is his real name, is it? I always wanted to ask somebody.
He's the Jerome of cricket.
Or Ishan bracket 1 plus K.
Ishan K. Ishan, right? And he just broke the record for winning the highest ever bid by an Indian player in the auction. And we cracked this joke on WhatsApp yesterday. It's worth repeating. It looks like the team paid 7 crores for the first Ishan and another 7.5 or whatever for the second Ishan. So it's good to have these repetitive names. It seems like. I actually don't agree that all teams did not have a strategy. Like I said, the Mumbai Indians did get their Indians in. If you look at Lucknow, right, they've got Quinton
Did they
de Kock.
get super giants in?
No, but Lucknow, what they did was they've got Quinton de Kock to come in at the top of the order ahead of the rest. It's a classic case of Munde Baro Lauda. And KL Rahul is the captain, so he's absolutely, executed strategy. Kings 11 Punjab, the eternal comedy team, they let go of Shah Rukh Khan. I think they thought they're getting the original Shah Rukh Khan in the auction. So they paid a lot more for him and then got him back into the team. They could have retained him for 4 crores apparently. They spent much more than that, probably double of that to get Shah Rukh Khan back in. So yeah, there are strategies.
Thing before we round up this IPL section is that Ashwin and Joss Butler are now going to play in the same team as are Krunal Pandya and Deepak Huda. So the biggest.
I know why the
enemies-
first one is significant because of some the Mankad thing, which should be a rule. Like no, but what's
It is a rule.
Yeah, I mean,
It is a rule also, yeah.
But what about the second? The second combination, I'm not. I don't know why that's key. So
Well, you need to be a little Baroda minded to understand it.
Baroda minded.
Because
wow,
both of them.
well done.
Thank you. Yeah, so they were playing for the same domestic team in one of the domestic leagues, and apparently Krunal Pandya was ragging Deepak Huda in the nets, and basically he quit the team and went away because he was being disrespectful or something like that. Now, but money has brought them back together, so they'll probably put hashtag better together tweet or something.
This is the Harbhajan Simmons coming back, money bringing them back together.
Hey, this
type
I
of thing
remember.
for this.
Hey, thanks for using references that I understand.
No, but we should definitely talk about it. It wasn't just Harbhajan and Simons, right? Ricky Ponting was the mentor coach, something of that team at that time. And Anil Kumble was the director of the team. So they got everyone basically back in. I think Matthew Hayden was the only person who wasn't there. That's because CSK doesn't let go of their players. Otherwise, they would have got the entire gang and, they would have probably reenacted the entire Monkey Gate.
And of course, Sachin Tendulkar was there too.
Yeah, the hashtag was Money Gate greater than Monkey Gate.
Oh boy. I have a quick reaction to what Mohan was saying earlier, right? He said, what is going on? It was boring. The people were talking. They weren't really adding any value. It wasn't clear what was going on. He was trying to describe the IPL auction, but I thought he was describing one-day cricket.
We had a one-day series. Like there was a West Indies series, no? Right now, was it one days? I don't know. I fell asleep.
Was there a West Indies series?
Yeah, India was also part of it, I think. So that happened. But I think as predicted, India basically pummeled West Indies into submission in the Narendra Modi Stadium. So all of us can feel great again about all of these things. Except, of course, not only runs were scored. So that was
I actually enjoyed that series. I think I mentioned that on our group as well. The pitch was pretty decent. There was spin and, Prasidh Krishna was able to get a lot of bounce. It was good to watch in action. And yeah, most importantly, it wasn't high scoring madness. So I quite enjoyed the series, at least the bits that I watched. Maybe I enjoyed it because I only watched bits of it. But
we should allow Pant to talk more. Like one of the biggest, entertaining pieces in cricket right now. And I think of Washington Sundar, it's a very clean and simple catch on the leg side, okay, for Rishabh Pant, which he completely fumbles. And the ball hits his leg and it goes running away wherever. And Rohit Sharma's fuming, you can hear him. Pant is chirping back saying, bro, tactic hai, wo mereko left hander lane ka tha, wo zabardasti kiya main. This one clip that went viral was of Chahal is doing time pass in the boundary and Rohit Sharma is like, hey, idhar dekh kya, bhagne ko nahi ho raha hai, idhar ko, run, that's it, go. It felt nice to listen to all of this. I guess that is my only, at least he got enough memes out of it.
So has cricket become, I clearly haven't been following the sport for a while, but has ODI cricket become so dull that literally the most exciting part of it was leaked audio?
It's a bit like this podcast.
Kaus, imagine if Pant was actually providing commentary when the IPL auction was happening. That would be fun. That would make the auction actually quite fun.
They should actually put a mic. Yeah, they should actually put a stump with a mic on each table.
Exactly. Abhe tu kya kar raha hai? Paddle utha. Sweetie, aage aa jao.
Why did you bid so much for this guy and buy him? No, next guy is a left-hander. I want to buy him also.
Exactly.
One question which might actually shockingly be a good segue from this. Why don't they play tri-series anymore?
Good question.
Oh, okay. What happened
So
to Sharjah? Again, I'm asking questions that are relevant to the time I used to watch cricket. So,
Right.
Is
So,
there-
to quickly bring you up to speed, Chuck. So the reason Tri-Series actually doesn't make sense, but the reasons Tri-Series don't work is because audience doesn't come in to watch neutral games. But that doesn't make sense because audience doesn't come in to watch anything
Any game.
anymore. Anyway,
Yeah.
right. And I actually feel televising neutral games and hosting Tri-Series with these neutral games would probably be a good way to re-inject some life into ODI cricket, because the bilateral series are not really cutting it. But yeah, what happened to Sharjah is a good question. Anybody else wants to take this?
No, I was just saying, Chuck, you shouldn't watch any of the recent matches that have happened in Sharjah, because it seems like such a small ground now, and all of Sachin's and Ganguly's massive sixes actually look like short-arm jabs. So I don't know why they still continue to play cricket in Sharjah. All of your childhood memories can just be ruined by watching cricket then.
This podcast is brought to you by ICC wristwatches. In the 21st century, it's important that we make every moment count. ICC wristwatches combine state-of-the-art technology with a holier-than-thou obsession for punctuality to ensure that no time is lost. The next time you show up late to a meeting or for the toss, experience a dramatic, painful, and totally over-the-top slap on the wrist, custom delivered by your ICC wristwatch, reminding you of the precious moments you have wasted. Take that, Saurav Ganguly. ICC wristwatches, because being fashionably late is terribly overrated. But since we are talking about ODIs in Sharjah and all of that, right? This is something that I should probably throw to Chuck, because this again is from his year.
yes,
We
bring
are.
it.
This is the section of the podcast where we throw trivia at Chuck to see whether his vast knowledge of cricket from the past can actually give the right answers. We call this "What the Chuck," or you can call it "Is this a Chuck or is it legitimate?"
Is it a segment that you always have, or is this like a temporary segment while I'm on? Do you run this
No,
segment?
no, we do it all the time. We get a guy called Chuck into every episode.
Into every episode. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is extremely narrow. So who have you had before this, and who's?
We had Chuck Fleetwood Smith the last time, who
Fair.
also, by the way, used to play cricket back in the 1800s when you were watching.
Chuck
cricket.
Berry is dead, no? Kausar?
Hey, Chuck Norris would be a good podcaster.
Norris,
We should consider bringing him
Yeah.
on. Anyway, so here's the question.
Yeah.
It's a true or false question, Chuck. No Indian has ever scored 100 in the knockout stages of an ODI World Cup. True or false?
No Indian has ever scored a century in the knockout stages. It's false. Wasn't Kapil Dev's 175 in knockout technically?
Yeah, I'm not talking about technical knockouts. This sounds like, boxing suddenly. But no, I'm not talking about technical knockouts. I'm talking about
Semi-final, quarter-final.
semi-finals, and
Semi-final,
finals.
yeah.
Yes.
No, I don't think so. I think Tendulkar
I don't know
came
what you
close.
mean by that.
I think Tendulkar came close.
Hey,
So you
Chuck,
think- you
another
think it's
match
true?
where you watched two guys got to the 90s for sure.
Sorry?
2011 final, there were two guys who got to the 90s.
Who got to the 90s? There we go. Yeah.
That match you
so-
watched, right?
Yeah, we watch, yeah.
Okay, so Chuck's answer is false, right?
My
So,
answer is false, yes.
Or rather true. You're saying no Indian
No
has
Indian,
scored
yeah,
100.
yeah.
Okay, I'll throw it to the rest of the panel, guys. Do you guys have an
You'll
answer?
give us the answer, no? Now
We
I'm
did.
That'll be fun.
Googling.
Join us on the next episode with a new Chuck for the answer.
Or turn your screen upside down to read the answer, like newspapers.
Like you cross your headphone wires left and right, like like the answer will come the other way.
Okay, others, do you guys have a guess?
But didn't Ganguly scored against Kenya in 2003, or was that not a
2003,
knockout?
yes. That was the same
Bingo.
final.
Customers got it right. Ganguly is that game where Ganguly scored a Turgid 100 is the only 100 by an Indian in the knockout of a World Cup. Even I was amazed to
Can
find
you
that.
explain that adjective that you just used? It was fascinating.
Turgid. Okay. Actually, the word Turgid, the best description of the word Turgid would not be Ganguly's innings against Kenya in 2003. It would be Ganguly's innings against Bangladesh in 2007. where he got about 75 runs of 125 balls when India lost that game, right? And which eventually ended up becoming a technical knockout.
And just so that I'm clear on this, do you have a dictionary where each adjective has an innings connected to it?
No, not an innings, but a Ganguly innings.
But a Ganguly innings specifically. Like,
Absolutely.
wow.
Yes.
Okay. Which means like, okay.
like Delirious would be Taunton 1999, right? Like I remember you were asking if Eric Upashanta still plays cricket.
Not me. That was not me. I have no idea who this gentleman is, but okay.
Okay, never mind. But
Is there a
what about
separate
you?
dictionary for Ganguly's bowling and captaincy and politics and all of that? That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
it's called the Ganguly Cricket Almanac. By the way, Ganguly was a part of Wisden India. He was like the executive resident editor or something. So yeah, you could have a Ganguly Cricket Almanac. It's very possible.
Okay, so here's another true or false, or chuck it or not kind of question. Was Trevor Chappell, was he the only Australian bowler to try and bowl underarm
Kedar
in a
Jadhav.
match featuring Australia and New Zealand? Trevor Chappell actually did it, but was he the only one that tried to bowl underarm?
That tried.
Kedar Jadhav. Kedar Jadhav bowls underarm, right? Kedar Jadhav is an underarm bowler, but yeah.
Is this the Glenn McGrath and that Billy Bowden red card incident that you're referring to?
This was
But
when
this
they
was to Chuck, but
recreated-
anyway.
Oh, I guess the answer is false, obviously. I was trying to think whether in that match, and I thought the operating word was tried to. So,
Okay, here's another interesting one. Okay, actually, this is I didn't know this, by the way. So Chuck, this might be a little tough for you, but it is from your era.
bring it.
Right? We all know Ravi Shastri famously batted at every position in Test cricket,
Yes.
right? From 1 to 11. Nobody has come close to, or rather, people have come close, but nobody has the record of batting at every single position in a one-day in the one-day format. However, 4 players from the 90s have actually batted in 10 different positions. Could you name any one of them? And I'm throwing this to all of you.
I'm guessing Afridi would be one of them.
That's a good guess, but no, Afridi actually did not. 2 of Afridi's teammates, by the way, are in the list.
Are in the list.
Nayan Mungia.
Azhar Mahmood.
Wow. No and no. Both very good guesses, by the way, but no.
I would go for Abdur Razak.
Abdur Razak is one of them. Abdur Razak is actually one of them. I think he didn't bat at number 11. It would be crazy if he had to bat at 11, but yeah, he's batted in 10 different positions.
Klusner?
Klusner is another one.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
a
good
good
one.
guess as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And yeah, so
Phil
it's funny
Simmons.
that-
I don't know. I'm going completely. Phil Simmons. PV Simmons. I don't know why I remember.
I remember PV Sindhu. No, okay, no. PV Simmons is not. I'll give you. There is one Pakistani and there is a Sri Lankan. I swear. The Sri Lankan is it's an interesting one.
Upul Chandana.
No, it's not Upul Chandana.
Not UDU Chandana. I don't know why I know this.
Who used to pinch hit for Sri Lanka?
Jasurya.
Not Jayasuriya.
Could it be Jayasuriya?
Okay, I'll give you a clue which will actually make you guys get to the answer faster. This guy is the opposite of a pinch hit.
Oh, he used to block everything.
Asanka
Hint, we
Guru
talked
Sinha.
about him.
Asanka Guru Sinha.
Not Guru Sinha. Guru Sinha though actually was a bit of a pinch
Pinch hitter, no?
right?
Huh.
Yeah.
Uppul Chandana.
No, I said.
हो गया उपल चंदना हो गया
Wow, what are the chances that.
Tony Sebastian did an Ishan K. Kishan with Upul Chandana. Okay, I'll give you the answer.
Marwan
It was-
Atapattu.
Not Marwan Atapattu.
Kumar
The answer-
Dharamshala.
Okay. Not only did you give the name of a player, you also said the venue at which he batted in every single position. No, it's not Kumar Dharamshala. The answer is Hashan Tilakaratne. Funnily has also batted in 10
Blocker.
positions. So that leaves us, by the way, with one more player.
Which is Pakistani. Who is Pakistani?
Who is a Pakistani. Yeah. I'll give you a simple clue to make it very easy. He has an Indian connection.
Not sure, Malik.
Shoaib Malik.
It is Shoaib Malik indeed. Yeah. I do remember Shoaib Malik used to open the innings once upon a time. I don't recall
but
him
at
batting
10?
at 10.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have a lineup that has Razak and Azhar Mahmood and Shoaib Malik, somebody has to bat at 10. Right? So
When you said the Pakistani connection, right? Like for some reason, my mind went to like Zahir Abbas, and the reason it went there is because Zahir Abbas's full name is Zahir Abbas Syed Kirmani.
wow.
So
Really?
yeah, so he took the name Zahir Abbas to like stand away from. I mean, Syed Kirmani took also has a longer name, right? But he took Syed Kirmani so that like him and Zaire Abbas could like stand. I mean, they'll be distinct from each other basically. But like,
Has Syed Kirmani ever stumped Zahir Abbas? Come together on the scorecard.
That is an Ishan Kishan moment. Syed Kirmani stumps Syed Kirmani.
Syed Kirmani.
Hey,
No,
so
this, imagine if Syed Kirmani and Zahir Abbas were playing currently and were in the IPL auction, right?
hey,
And
they would
if
be
were
standing Syed by Syed. I'm very sorry. I'm really sorry. Hey,
that would be like an-
if you guys want, I have a bunch of questions over here which I can toss your way to see whether you can get it right. Let's see. Who has the highest score on first class debut?
This is all as of 2010, no?
This is, I have verified a lot of this, so it's still valid. None of these are jokes, by the way. They're actual. Highest score on first class debut. Yeah, which batsman?
Essentially, that batsman had a first-class debut.
Yeah.
Jack Hobbs.
Very good guess, actually, but no. I'll give you a hint. He was padded up when Sachin and Kambli put on their 664 runs.
Amol Muzumdar.
Yes! Well done. 260 on debut. Okay, which English cricketer played for a now EPL club? When he played for them, it wasn't an EPL club because there was no EPL back then.
Sam Billings.
No, this is much longer. This is around the Lawman time. Yeah. No, not 19th, early 20th, I guess.
Some
Pretty big.
Cowdrey something.
Dennis Compton, actually. He played for Arsenal, apparently.
Oh, of course he did. He did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I really like this next one. If Rahul Dravid had scored 5 more runs in the Lord's Test against England in 1996, what first would have happened?
Oh, you would have been the first Indian on the Lord's scope.
No.
Two
First
people.
time,
Two
two
people.
debutants hitting 100.
Yeah. Ganguly was the other person.
In Lord's
Yes.
debuts.
Yes, two
Yeah,
debutants scored. No, not even Lords. 2 debutants scoring a century in the same innings. So, in which match were there actually 2 debutants who scored a century? It wasn't too
Was
far
it the-
from.
Was it the same team, same innings?
No, it wasn't same team. Same team, same innings. Yes, yeah. In fact, we have discussed one of these names just before as an answer to one of the questions you asked. It was from Pakistan.
At Lords. Azhar Mahmood and Ali.
Yes,
Ali
and
Naqvi and Azhar Mahmood.
Yes,
Yes, of course.
Yes,
of course.
well done,
Yes.
well done. Wow.
On that note, since we spoke about Ali Naqvi, right? I don't know.
Wow.
Everybody's playing Wordle these days, right?
Yeah.
And there is a cricketer version of Wordle. It's called Nerdle, by the way. So it's 5-letter cricketer names only. Okay.
Oh.
And the sad part is, I tried Wajahutullah Vasti as one of the names, and that their database didn't have it. I haven't tried Naqvi. I should try it.
Yeah.
And if they don't have Naqvi as well, then that game deserves to be rejected
Yeah.
completely.
If a game does not have key Pakistani batsmen from the from 97 specifically, that year specifically, then it's not worth it. Tony has dropped out because these questions are too tough for him, it seems. In 1789, a cricket quote-unquote tour was supposed to happen between 2 nations. Why did it not happen? And again,
Oh, hey, I know this.
Tell me.
USA Canada cricket match.
close, very close, but no.
I think it was France.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was France
Yes.
versus USA.
France versus England. Why
France
was
versus
it cancelled? Why was the tour cancelled?
This was still covered with ice or something. Like, no.
No, something slightly
Spanish, like COVID, there was Spanish flu back then.
almost there.
Some pandemic.
The plague.
No, not really, not the plague. It was cancelled because of the minor matter of the French Revolution.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
But wasn't this played in the US?
no, it's England versus France in France.
No, because I tell you
This
why.
is like IPL. You have Indian Revolution play IPL in Dubai.
Okay. In 1900, which bowler dismissed W.G. Grace, taking his only first-class wicket? I'm assuming there might be many. This is only one key fellow, I suppose.
I used to know this.
He is more famous for other things.
This is so far in the past that Mohan case, I need to know this.
I saw it. No, this is Arthur Conan Doyle, it seems. Yeah. Okay, this question I really like. Sorry, there are about 6 or 7 more. In December 2001, A denied B a major record in Test cricket. Tony is not allowed to answer this. In December 2001, A denied B a major record in Test cricket. And in January 2002, B denied A the ODI version of the record. Identify A and B.
A denied B the test version of the record and B denied A the
ODI version of the record 1 month apart.
In the same year.
Actually, as in 1 month apart, December 2001, Jan 2002. A hint I'll give you is that many Zimbabweans were harmed in the making of both.
This is Hayden and Lara.
No. They were also both in the same team, if that helps.
Many Zimbabwe.
Was there a run out?
No.
You won't tell us which team, right?
I could.
No,
It's a bowling.
don't.
Yeah, I shouldn't.
It's a bowling record.
It's a bowling record.
Okay.
It's
Murli and Vas,
Vas,
man, like
yes.
generally
Murli
fucking
and Vas,
around
correct.
with
Yes.
minnows all the time.
Yeah, correct.
Vas once took 5 wickets in the opening over of a World Cup game.
Yeah. Wicket, 4 wicket. Crazy it was. Okay. This next question is a silly one. Martin Guptill has 7. Fred Titmus had 6. What am I talking about? Toes. Very good. Yes, well done. In 2009, Noor Ali of Afghanistan achieved something that only 3 others have done before him. Arthur Morris, Nari Contractor and Amir Malik. What?
Getting the equivalent of what their name means in Hindi.
Very good.
Or in Tamil. He got 100. 100 is Noor in Tamil.
Oh, very nice actually. But obviously more people have scored centuries in first class cricket. So what was unique about this? In Test, a hint I'll give you is in Test cricket, only Yasir Hamid and Lawrence Rowe have achieved this.
They got hit in the head and
Centuries in both innings on debut.
Yes, both innings. Well done. The next one is an easy one. Connect Charles Bannerman, Jeffrey Boycott and Adam Gilchrist.
Chuck has watched all of them play cricket.
Close. I swear there are only like 5 left. Okay.
Squash ball.
No. Charles Bannerman, you should know, no? Key cricket trivia, that is.
He had the highest percentage score, whatever.
Oh, wow. That was the record that you remember of him. Okay, no. Okay, so
that is the record in the very first innings of Test cricket.
Yes. Adam Gilchrist. And then you have Jeffrey Boycott in the middle, which means...
they had
They
the
are second
highest.
and third in that list. No.
Longest innings played.
No, they face the first ball of each international format.
Okay. Gilchrist. This could have been worked out. It's a good one.
Thank you. Who was the last cricketer to score a double century in his last Test innings? I hope this hasn't changed.
Gillespie.
Yes. Kambli, nice. Okay, this is a fun one. In first class cricket, this guy sent this is honestly like one random question only. I don't expect anyone to get it because it's a like really obscure piece of trivia, but I found this story fascinating. This guy sent away all his fielders, including the wicketkeeper, and left only himself, the 2 batsmen and the 2 umpires. Then he recalled just 1 fielder and placed him near the stumps. When asked why, he replied, "I've troubled the umpires enough. This guy is going to pick up the bails." And true to form, he clean bowled the batsman, the fielder picked up the bails and handed them to the umpire. Who was this bowler?
Oh, this is Salman Khan in some Bollywood
Yeah, fair.
movie.
Actually, I was a while back, Kaustubh said some USA, and I was hoping he would remember this. So this is a guy called Bart King, who was widely regarded to be USA's best ever cricketer. This was really long back. It's an obscure piece of trivia, but I really like the story.
Now it is Unmukh Chand.
Unmukh Chand,
Cricketer.
Ranjit Singh Ji, Deodar, Naidu, Merchant, Hazare are the only cricketers to be dash.
Tournament names.
Have names.
Wow, nice. I actually okay. Also to be. Yeah, I did not realize that at all. Commemorated on Indian postage stamps, it seems. I don't know.
Actually, there is one more.
I feel somebody else should also be there, no?
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
I.P. Lodhi.
Ganguly currently is a rubber stamp himself. So.
Oh, nice. Okay, last 2. The question I asked Stephen. I asked Stephen and it got featured. When was the last time that whites were worn in an ODI?
India versus Zimbabwe.
Correct. The match where this guy hit 4 sixes. That guy. What's his name?
Zahir Khan.
Henry
Olonga.
Yeah, Henry Olonga. Yeah. The hint I wrote was that also, a near emulation of Kapil Dev and Eddie Hemmings. Sunil and Rohan Gavaskar are the only father-son pair to do what?
First wicket in their first over.
Brilliant. Wow, that was, well done.
And also Jamaican accent.
No. Rohan Gavaskar did not have a Jamaican accent. I'm just
Famously.
famously.
Okay, last question. Last question, and this is and Nitin should get this. Frank and George Hearn, England versus South Africa in 1892. Then Ed and Dominic Joyce, England versus Ireland 2006. Connect.
There's
Brothers played for
Opposite times.
Opposite teams.
Yes, that is all I have.
Didn't Jamie Pattinson and Darren Pattinson ever play against each other? I guess they did not.
This is a Twilight guy, no? Sorry, my pop culture is as bad as my...
Oh my god.
Hey, only recently...
Once Shivnarayan Chandrapal and his son played in the same match, so he was batting in son.
Tej Narayan Chandrapal, yeah. They were batting together, if I...
Oh, it's an actual fact. I assume that Tony was setting up for a joke. Pattinson...
They were batting with each other, except Chandrapal was facing square leg and this guy was facing some other direction.
Okay, now I think we should bring the podcast back to some actual sense.
So coming back to this is perfect. Coming back to matters cricket, did anyone realize that Australia and Sri Lanka are actually playing a T20 series at the moment?
I heard, yeah.
There's one match down, which Australia won, and in the second match, Australia is 163 for 6. It's happening as we speak. Just putting it out there that there is cricket happening in the midst of IPL auction and quiz questions and all that sort of stuff. But it's another meaningless bilateral series.
Hey, there's a better tournament happening in the midst of all this. Okay, Bangladesh Premier League. Okay, where like yesterday after Faf du Plessis was picked up by RCB, he went and smashed 100. Okay, of like
celebration.
Of like 50 odd balls, and he's the captain of the team for that day. Like I don't remember
Captain
who.
of the team for the day.
Yeah, as in someone else injured, something like
This is like Bits and Pieces podcast where every week there's a new post.
And it'll be
There's a new Chuck.
Yeah,
There's a new Chuck.
Yeah, and what if there is a surname limit in for cricket also? Like
No, it's okay.
the
Like
War Brothers
Bangladesh.
should be able to play together.
No, but Bangladesh names are like they are like 3-4 word names, right? So I think some way or the other people will like get into the
find a
team in some
loophole
way.
and
Yeah.
And also du Plessis is safe.
Even Faf du Plessis has 3 names, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but no. So what happened is it was like a full joyful thing where like he's joined RCB and like RCB needs a captain and he smashed 100 while opening and not opening. I think he was number 4 or something. But whatever, like full joy and whatnot. And after the auction got done, I happened to look at the scorecard and they scored like 180 odd, which was chased down by the other team with like 9 wickets to spare, with one guy scoring 100, the opener scoring 100 of like some 60 balls.
Amazing. Faf du Plessis is going to fit into RCB perfectly.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they do.
Whatever, like there's actual cricket happening while like the auction is taking place, and we have an international game, and we have this podcast, which is like
Too much for the cricketing fans to keep track
Yeah.
of. No.
Yeah.
But since Mohan mentioned Australian cricket, right? I have a very bad riddle. When it is someone's birthday in the Australian team, who do you think is in charge of putting up decorations and streamers on the walls and why? Okay, the answer is Pat Cummins, because he is always sticking up for his teammates.
ooh, nice.
I don't
On that note,
Nice segue into probably the best event in my view. In the
we should talk about
go for
it. We should talk about it.
Go for it, Nitin.
I have nothing to say.
In the Chuck, like I'll just like explain like what happened.
Yeah.
Basically, Justin Langer resigned after being given like a 6-month extension on his contract instead of a proper full-time 3-year extension.
Oh, he's
or
still
something.
batting, is it?
No, that you're confusing him with Shivnarayan Chandrapal, who's still batting. Okay, so basically, he lost the dressing room in a way. Okay, and Pat Cummins is the captain, the Test captain of Australia right now, and your old school players who are like Justin's ex-teammates or friends, they are kind of out in the open calling out Pat Cummins for doing Justin Langer dirty. And Pat Cummins put out the most statesman-like statement that you can think of, where he just said, just like you are batting for your boys, as in the statement is to everybody in public, but it is directed at Justin Langer's supporters. Yeah, coterie in a way.
Yeah.
Like just like you are batting for your boys, I am batting for mine. All right.
I'm sticking up for my mates.
Yeah, I'm sticking up for my
literally
mates.
the words.
Yeah.
Exactly the words he said.
So like that's like basically he was talking about how like it's got nothing to do with your management style. It's just we want to go somewhere else, and your friends can talk whatever you want, but we want to go in a certain way. It is that, which is what is being like referred to here.
Creative differences. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it was the ultimate statement.
Ultimate. The thing that needs to be said, however, I think, is that rather than what we saw in the Indian media and the leaks and counter leaks and whatever that we saw happening around the Kohli resignation and a whole bunch of other things, I thought the entire process and the way it was handled in the media and the statement by Cummins itself in the end was very dignified. It was conducted in an extremely dignified manner. I think there was a dignified exit, and the entire process went kind of smoothly. Yes, there was anger, there was a bit of disappointment that the guy was had to go, but I think the whole thing was conducted in an air of complete dignity and honor, which I think the entire process in the transition from Kohli completely lacked.
So there was anger, but there will be no languor in Australian cricket.
I was wondering what the punchline
He will not linger longer.
Shall not linger longer. Yeah, we used that one last time. And coming back to Indian cricket intrigue, Ajinkya Rahane came out and said that other people claimed credit for his tactics and his master strokes in Australia. What do we feel about that? Let's actually go forensic into this, right? Who is actually Rahane pointing fingers towards?
It's
Who
Shastri.
is Rahane? Let's answer that first. Who is Rahane? Is Rahane a concept? Sorry, I'm doing ultimate GD. B school GD type scenes over here.
Let's take a step back.
Let's take a step back.
Take a step.
Chuck here, and to add on to what he said. But basically, Rahane is pointing a finger towards himself and no one else, saying, "I did it, not any of you guys." Right?
If you point a finger to someone else, 3 fingers point back at you. So that's what happened to Rahane.
So is he upset over the fact that like he himself has stolen the credit from himself? Like that's what this is.
To be fair, right? I mean, if you watch the whole video in context, it's Boria Majumdar who needs to be, given some spanks on his backside for.
You don't need to
putting
watch any
Rahane-
video to come up with that conclusion. But yeah, go.
Yeah, but basically, I think the point was that on Ashwin's Kuti story, basically Ashwin said that it was Ravi Shastri's brainwave to make sure he gets the ball in the first 10 overs at the MCG. And Rahane
Get the
said
ball, Ash!
And Rahane said it was a very instinctive call that he took on the morning of the MCG test to give it to Ashwin, right? So it's again an unnecessarily drawn out saga from what was a great test win. But all that goes away now that we've beaten West Indies 30-0, not 3-0 in the latest ODI series. If
tennis
you've seen
score.
the points table. Yeah.
And also, it looks like all's well in the Indian team, right? There seems to be a healthy atmosphere between Robro and Kohli. After all, it is Bro Kohli.
Well done.
Let's just move past that.
It does look like they've buried whatever hatchet they had, but Kohli is not scoring any runs, right? Is it a silent protest saying, you know what, I don't care, I'm not going to score any runs under you?
Actually, Amazon shut down shut down Westland, not Hatchet. So it was Westland that was worried and not the Hatchet India that was worried. Sorry.
No, talking about like Kohli, it's that what is that Sound of Music song? No, like what do you do? Like how do you solve a problem like Maria types? Like what do you do about like someone who's your best player of arguably of all time, who has had the peak of all peaks? All right, like I would say Kohli's at his peak was better than Tendulkar at his peak, like far better in my opinion. And it was so high, there is probably not going to be a second peak. Like, is that like what this is going to like go into? Is it going to peter out? I don't know. I'm worried, but he's so set. He's going to keep playing. The stump mic is on. We can hear him chirp from like slip giving gali, and then Rishabh Pant is like, bro, stump mic is on. You can't talk like that. We're going to keep getting content. That's not going to be a problem. But yeah, man, we don't know how this is going to go. Is it mental? Is it just that he's like, he doesn't want to play anymore? Like, no idea, man.
Just to chip in, I did watch the series just to see that. That was the main interest for me in the series, just to see how he copes with not having the captaincy, and how he contributes, or whether he just sulks in a corner. I saw none of that. I saw complete enthusiasm, complete participation, enthusiasm, excitement, everything. The sad part, however, is that his form, I something going on in his head about the way he plays. He got out, fishing outside the off stump, and just when he was sort of settling in, he just tickled one down the leg side to get out. So he's finding new ways to get out. However, I think we have to use this form is temporary, class is permanent type of line cliche. I think he'll bounce back. It's just a question of one innings and then he'll bounce back. I still believe that there is another peak left in him. He's just too good a cricketer to.
But like his lack of form is not even lack of form. It is just like one set of 3 matches. He did pretty well in South Africa. It wasn't he isn't scoring 1-2 runs. He's scoring 50s and getting out, and scoring 50s in these horrible pitches where nobody else is able to bat.
Yeah,
right?
agreed.
Yeah,
but if you contrast the way he played with the way some of the other players played, especially Keegan Peterson and so on in the second innings, right after him, right? So you just see that there is a sense that the dominance that he used to have is kind of missing. He's not bossing things anymore, so he's a bit tentative. But it's probably a couple of innings and then boom, he'll just be back.
Have we correlated Kohli's peak with Bitcoin trends to see how that is going? Because I think
Is that a collectible?
I think both of them are going to peak again fairly soon. I think it's just a matter of a couple of innings.
This is not
It's all in
investment
the
advice.
ether.
Please twist carefully. Leave these disclaimers. You're a popular podcast now. No, since you have asked me to, I have no idea how to close this. So I just one thing I love about cricket is how it leads to so many interesting stories and banter and things like that. One of my favorite stories is the James Ormond story. You guys know it, I'm guessing. So James Ormond was batting, his English all-rounder or something from the early 2000s, and Mark Waugh was sledging him from slip, saying that, hey, you're not even good enough to play for Lancashire. How did they let you play for England? And James Ormond just turned to him and said, well, at least I'm the best player in my family.
Amazing. And Chuck is always the best podcaster in every podcast that he comes to.
Hey,
So
Podcaster.
Chuck has been part of more podcasts than Chris Gayle has played T20.
Oh, dude, no. That's,
absolutely. Yeah, that's
the podcast universe boss.
This is Chuck's cinematic universe. It's one more extension. It's another vertical.
And our podcast is like the guardians of the galaxy, the stragglers who suddenly have come into the universe, and now we are like, we too are big enough. We're in the big league now that we've had Chuck on our podcast. Chuck is making funny faces.
Sure.
All right.
Yes, that was fun. Thanks, guys. That was
Thanks a lot, Chuck. And on that note, we'll bring the curtains down on this episode of Bits and Pieces.
We'll turn the floodlights off.
Okay,
so
turn
here's
the
the thing.
floodlights off. We will also check the time with the ICC and make sure we're not getting fined for going overboard. Anyway, you were saying, Chuck.
No, I was saying you guys should, with the talent that you have on the show, and by talent I mean ability
Sharma.
to make. Good. That meme still hasn't died, I see. No, you should come out with new phrases and things like this. Like, what would be the real life equivalent of going over, the over rate?
Munde Baro Loda.
Sure. Okay, let's start with that. I think that's a good one to start with.
Someone close the. This is no declare. We're not declaring on. It's
Guys-
almost lunch
guys,
on
what-
day 5.
What we're doing at the end of the day is picking our bat and ball and bails and going home.
There we go.
All right. See you again next week, same time, same place, on your favorite podcasting platform.
Goodbye, bye bye, and leg bye.
Ba, 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 ba.